Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel where I like to talk about game development. I hope you are doing well and everything is going well too. Today we're gonna start the first part of the third-person game series. In this part, I'm gonna cover player and enemy models, player and enemy animations, animation controllers, animations for both player and enemy, and finally we're gonna talk a bit about the animation event system. Today, there are too many subjects to cover. Hope you will enjoy and like the video. So, let's get started. This is our town. I'm not gonna design the scene from scratch. But as I mentioned before, all these assets are free. You can download and design your own scene. You don't have to have same scene as I have. Methods, which I'm gonna show today, are generic, and you can use them anywhere you want, so no worries. We're gonna have models for player and enemies in our scene. The models and the animations which I'm gonna use are downloaded from the Mixamo. Feel free to download the same or different models from there, or use your own models if you already have. The link in the description for the models and the animations to make it easier for you. Check the description section for the link. We are adding models and animations for the player and the enemies. As I mentioned earlier, you can find the links in the description section for both models and animations. After we have finished adding models and animations into the project, we can continue by the next part. We're gonna create two different animation controllers. The first one for the player, and the second one for the enemies. Both animation controllers are gonna have their own animations and transitions. Let's start with the player animation controller. We are creating a new animation controller and name it as player animation controller. Then let's continue with enemy animation controller, same as we did for the first one. We are creating a new animation controller as enemy animation controller. So now we have two new animation controllers which we're gonna use for the player and the enemy. But as you can see, they are empty for now. So we need to fill them with animations and transitions. Let's start with player animation controller. We're gonna use blend tree and substate machine for this animation controller. Blend tree for blending different types of animations, which is gonna be movement in our case, and substates machine for covering several different animations, which we're gonna use for attack and hit animations in our case. Now we have state, blend tree, and substate machine in the animation controller. We can start by moving animations. We have three different animations for this purpose: walk, run, and fast run. We're gonna blend them by using an external parameter which is the speed for us. According to the speed of the model, the animation controller changes the animation states smoothly. By this, we're gonna get natural transitions between the animations. Okay, let's continue with attack substate machine. For this aim, we're gonna use 5 different animations, and we're gonna switch between each other by using the triggers which we have defined earlier. Don't worry, we're gonna add transitions later. For now, we are only adding animations that we need and organizing them to make it easier to work with them later on. Then we continue with hit substate machine. This machine is gonna contain 2 different animations. The aim here is to give our character 2 different reaction animations for getting hit, according to type of it. We're gonna get the help of the animations event system for such details. It is a useful system and there are different ways to implement it, but we're gonna use the simple way to do it. For now, let's continue with animations. We're gonna see events later. As we have all the animations added to the player animation controller, we can start adding transitions between each other. We are starting transitions between idle and the move state. These two states are going to have two-way transitions between each other, which will be controlled by the move parameter. Actually, it is very simple. If the move parameter is true, we are changing animation state to move state. If not, we are changing animation state to idle state. That's all what we need to do. By the way, don't forget to check foot IQ for each animation. We're gonna need it then while arranging the feed of the models. The next state is killed. We wanna enter this state from another state. That's why we are adding transition from any state to killed state by using the kill trigger. If you pay attention, whenever we use parameters for transitions, we are disabling the hasExit time option to not wait till the end of the current state. Otherwise, we would have to wait until the current state completes. We can continue by adding transitions to attack state by using the start attack trigger. As you can see, there are 5 different animations inside the attack substate machine. We're gonna use triggers to change states between those animations. First, we are adding the transition between start attack and the idle attack. For this transition, we are using the hasExit time options, because we wanna wait for the start attack animation to complete. Also, we need to enable the loop time option for the idle animation, because we want to keep the idle animation playing while the animation controller is in the state. Then we are adding transition from attack idle to attack state by using the attack trigger. We continue by adding transition from attack to draw arrow. We are adding transition from all states to stop attack state by using the stop attack trigger. Finally, we are adding transition from the stop attack state to the idle state and the move state by using the move parameters. One more thing, we are adding transition from draw arrow state to the attack idle state, because we want to make the player model enter the attack idle state after completing the draw arrow state. Yes, I know I'm keep saying states, but there is nothing to do. We are talking about them. Let's continue by the hit state. We are adding transitions from the end state to the react top and react side states by using related triggers. And we are adding transitions from both states to the exit. So we have finished the player animation controller. Now we can continue with the animation controller of the enemy. It's gonna be more simple, I promise. For the enemy animation controller, we're gonna use the 5 different animations: move, idle, attack, hit, and die. Less than the player animation controller. We are setting the idle state as a default state. So the default state of the animation controller for the enemy is gonna be the idle state. We continue by adding the triggers. If you pay attention, we are not using the speed parameter here, because the enemy is gonna have only one type of state for the movement. Now we can start to add transitions between the states. Let's start with the move and the idle state. These two states have both way transitions. It is almost the same except for a small difference, which is the speed parameter. We are using triggers same as we have used for the player animation controller. We are adding a transition between the idle state and the attack state by using the attack trigger, and back to the idle state by using the hasExitTime option. Also, we are adding transition from the attack state to the move state. If the move parameter is true, by this, we are giving the ability to enemy to change from attack state to the move state, in case of movement starts during the attacking state. Finally, we are adding transition from move state to the attack state by using attack parameter, so the enemy can enter the attack state anytime from the move state. The enemy should be able to enter both the hit state and the die state from any other state. That's why we are adding transitions from the end state to the both hit and the die state, according to related triggers. And we are adding transition to exit from the hit state. So we have just finished the enemy animation controller. I wanna talk a bit about the animation event system. The animation event system in Unity gives chance to run functions at any time we want. We can add the events by using the interface. As you notice, there are some events that are already added for the animation. Adding animation events is very simple. You just need to move the timeline where you want to add an event. Then click Add Event and name the function as you wish. Please pay attention that the name which you are giving as a function name should be defined in the class, and the class should be attached to the same object where the animator component is attached. So move the timeline, click the Add Event, name the function, and click the Apply. That's it. Unity is gonna call the function which has the same name as the function name which you have just entered. For our example, there are some events which we need to add to the animations, but I don't want to make the video so long because of it. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, links are on the description section for both models and the animations. If you get the animations from the link, you're gonna have all the events added for the related animations. But if you wanna see the events, here I am sharing them with you by their frame numbers. You can pause the video and check them if you wish. So that's it for today. We already have models for player and the enemy, animations for both models, animation controllers, and we have talked a bit about the animation event system. I'm gonna continue with the other parts of the series. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do so, please like the video and consider to subscribing to the channel. See you then.